871 AD, 4765 AM. A new Danish army arrived in England, providing reinforcements, and the Danes prepared to destroy the last two Saxon kingdoms, Wessex and Mercia. Mercia was invaded and fell quickly, but Wessex remained intact. King Alfred the Great collected the chronicles and records of the country and created the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, 1 Saxons, Vikings and Celts. 874 AD. The Vikings build a settlement in Iceland. This is the year 2070, 414 times 5, of the ancient Chinese calendar that began in 1197 BC, and 1080 years after 207 BC, when anarchy and civil wars tore through China. 876 AD, 4770 AM. The Vikings, led by Hrolf the Ganger from Norway, sailed up the Seine River, pillaging the French countryside. King Charles the Simple of France granted Hrolf the province of Normandy and the overlordship of Brittany. This was exactly 900 years before the descendants of both the Vikings and French people would found the United States of America with the Anglo-Saxon Celts in 1776 AD. 1 Pirates and the Lost Templar Fleet. 878 AD, 4772 AM. King Alfred of the Saxon Kingdom of Wessex was defeated by the Danes, and he escaped to Somerset. This was the 50th year since the establishment of the English throne in 828. 879 AD, 4773 AM. King Alfred acquired reinforcements and crushed the Danish Great Army, forcing the Vikings to surrender on the slopes of Salisbury Plain near Stonehenge. A treaty established the Danelaw territories to be occupied by the Vikings, and Wessex was not disturbed again, even when 14 years later another Danish army arrived. Wessex remained independent. 1 Saxons, Vikings and Celts. 880 AD, 4774 AM. This is an approximate time for when European chronicles and writers wrote that it was the prevailing opinion that the Arabs were the descendants of Ishmael, that the Muslims of Spain answered to kings in Babylon, Baghdad. 1 History in quotations. 885 AD, 4779 AM. The Vikings sailed up the Seine with 700 warships, 21 to 26,000 men, and innumerable other support ships in their effort to take Paris. The Great Siege of Paris occurred because the Vikings saw the city as the key to capturing the whole Frankish kingdom of Europe the Danes set to conquer. Led by Siegfried, the Danish Vikings made demands for tribute, but the demand was rejected. The siege would endure 8 months, lasting into 886. 1 The Vikings. 886 AD, 4780 AM. The siege of Paris by the Danes ends, and the Vikings, weary of the protracted affair, break up into smaller bands and begin terrorizing the countryside. The Rus were kin to the Danes, Vikings that at this time were founding Russian states and attacking almost all of northern Europe. In this year the Rus Vikings attacked Wessex and took some of King Alfred's territory. King Alfred attacked the Vikings occupying his country to stop them from using the Thames River in London. He succeeded, took back the city and drove off the Vikings from that area. This was the 360th year of the Anno Domini calendar. 1 The Vikings. 2 A Short History of the World. 888 AD, 4782 AM. The Anunnaki planet Nibiru is at aphelion, furthest distance from the surface of the Sun, and begins its 366-year journey back toward the inner solar system since last passing over the ecliptic in 522 AD. The last time Nibiru was at aphelion was in 96 AD, when the apocalypse was put together from the ancient Greek prophecies and other texts. 892 AD, 4786 AM. A Viking named Hasting or Hastein attacked England, but was defeated by Alfred, the Saxon king of Wessex. The Vikings attacked with 250 ships, 7,500 to 10,000 men. Interestingly, this was 174 years before the Battle of Hastings between the Norman Vikings and the English in 1066 AD. 174 years being 2088 months. Won the Vikings. 893 AD, 4787 AM. A Danish fleet arrived in England to reinforce the Viking troops already occupying everything but the Saxon kingdom of Wessex. In Persia at Ardabil occurred an earthquake that killed about 150,000 people. Won Saxons, Vikings and Celts. 896 AD, 4790 AM. Saxon King Alfred of Wessex built a navy of larger warships than those used by the Vikings, the Frisians and Danish. According to the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, this English navy began resisting the steady stream of Viking longships passing over to England. This year was 1776 years after the Israelites built their capital city Samaria, the Viking and Saxons being descendants of these people who had migrated through the Baltic. This was 1480 years after the fall of Judah in 585 BC. 1480 years is 17,760 months. One history in quotations.